Who are we looking at?
I think he's Marine Corps Martial Arts MCMAP. One mind, any weapon.
Whatever. Hello everyone, Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Rebel Ridge. This is a new film from 2024, playing on Netflix currently. That's where I watched this film. This movie is 2 hours and 11 minutes long, and a Rotten Tomatoes score of 95% from the critics, 78% from the audience, and a Letterboxd average rating of 3.7. I think all those scores are actually pretty fair, and we'll get into all the details of that. In this film, we see a former Marine confront corruption in a small town when local law enforcement unjustly seizes a bag of cash he needs to post his cousin's bail. Now, that sounds like a very simple premise, but it definitely evolves into a lot more. This is directed by Jeremy Saulnier. Now, the only film I've ever seen from Saulnier's previous work is Green Room, which is a very intense film, and you can definitely feel that translate over to this film. The movie stars Aaron Pierre as Terry Richmond, who's the Marine that we're following. Now, very interesting. I just want to mention this because I saw while I was doing some research of some of his previous roles, Aaron Pierre played the character Midsize Sedan in Old, in the M. Night Shyamalan movie Old. So that was really interesting to have this character or this actor show up in something else as the lead. We also have David Denman, who was Roy in The Office. He's Officer Marston. We have Don Johnson as Chief Byrne, Anna Sophia Robb as Summer McBride, and Emery Cohen as Officer Lan. So I watched this film because I saw that it was in the top 10 list of what was currently trending on Netflix. And usually, first of all, I mean, selfishly, reviews of those videos do very well for the channel. But I also wanted to check it out. The premise sounded interesting. The runtime definitely put me off a little bit. I think any movie that's over 2 hours, you really have to earn that extra, 15, 20, 30 minutes. So I definitely hold them to a different standard than anything that is 90 minutes to 2 hours, which is weird, but, time is valuable for sure. But I think Jeremy Saulnier in this film has carved out a niche for himself with films that really balance slow brewing tension with southern bursts of violence and intrigue, and I think Rebel Ridge definitely fits that mold. Now, for those not familiar, like I said, you can check out Green Room or Blue Ruin. I haven't seen Blue Ruin, but I hear very, very similar things, and I think it just really feels like a natural progression where he's coming with this. The atmosphere and the mood definitely a big part of what sets Saulnier's films apart from some of the other stuff. Now, the film itself is anchored by a near constant sense of dread and tension that keeps you on edge from the first frame, really from the first ride. It really thrives on creating a suffocating atmosphere sometimes where each of the scenes feel like a rubber band being slowly pulled tighter, ready to snap at any moment. Very intense. I think that's the greatest strength of this film. And it ensures that in its quiet moments, there's definitely an undercurrent of unease, whether it's a camera angle or something in the soundtrack, something in the music, or even just a look from a performance in the character. There are some of those quieter moments are very darkly lit, which also adds to that uncertainty. So you never really feel like the characters you're following along are quite safe. I think Aaron Pierre, to me, is just great in the lead role. His performance really holds up this film. It's raw, it's simmering with intensity. He just physically commands the screen when he's on there. He's got a big presence that keeps you locked into his character every move. It feels very similar to, like, if anybody that's seen Reacher, Alan Ritchson's performance of, like, the physicality has, like, so much to do with what they're doing on the screen. I think his performance here, Pierre's performance, is just unrelenting and almost savage at some times, making it both a force of nature, but also a deeply haunted person, right? But for the most time, he's in control. And that's really what the film is leading you to believe, and really showing you that this person is always in control. He's got a plan, but obviously sometimes circumstances are just like, you can see just moments where maybe he's about to, like, lose that control, and that's kind of what makes the film feel so tense. Um, I will say, I think the pacing is slow, and that's part of what really adds to the runtime. There were a few sequences that I felt maybe a little bit like the film felt a little bit bloated in a few places. Not too many, but definitely a few things that I was like, this is a little slow. We're losing a little bit of the momentum we had going. So it's really, I think this is probably what might be the most divisive thing for people watching. The story is also pretty straightforward. I think there's not a lot of surprises until you get to some big surprises towards the end of the film, which is really really cool. Very similar to Green Room. Like there's a lot of stuff that the third act just really unveils. Visually itself, I think it's very well done. There's a visual quality to Netflix films that I think this film manages to shake off a little bit in a few places. It definitely feels very visceral and unflinching at some point, some sequences. The cinematography just really focuses on the survival, the isolation in some scenes, often just kind of creating a little bit more of that atmosphere that's really leading all throughout the film. I think sometimes that isolation almost feels like a character on its own until some of those pieces start coming together. I think this film is definitely worth a watch on Netflix. If anything, just for that last part, there's a big sequence in the latter half of the film that, oh my god, just action packed, heavy, really cool stuff, great resolution, some intriguing like twists and turns that probably maybe a smarter person would have seen, but I just kind of missed because I was just along for the ride. So yeah, definitely worth your time on Netflix. It's not a film that will just kind of spoon feed everything to you, but it definitely doesn't offer a lot of like easiness or comfort either. I think it's willing to embrace its pacing and just like build that slow burn, build that tension. So yeah, definitely recommend if you have some time on Netflix, make sure to check it out. I don't know that this will be for everyone, but the film itself just sets out, it succeeds in what it sets out to do, and that's just to create this palpable atmosphere, the tension, and deliver this story. But the anchor itself, once again, uh, Aaron Pierre, just fantastic stuff. So yeah, let me know if you have seen this film. What did you think of Rebel Ridge? And as always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps. I'm also going to drop a list of some of the films that I've added to my watch list on Netflix. So if you want to see me review any of those films, make sure to let me know down in the comments. You can see that in the description of the video. So as always, thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.